Hey, First Church family, and whoever else watches. Today, I want to talk to you about something very interesting in my eyes. You know, if you watch YouTube or anything like that, you know one of the most popular YouTube people that are out there is a guy by the name of Jimmy Donaldson. He's better known as MrBeast. We're going to kind of take his life and his approach to YouTube and talk a little bit about how we as Christians, isn't this crazy? How we as Christians, and he may be one, I don't know, but how we can take a YouTube person and look at their life, look at the things that they've been able to do, and take an example from it, and how we are supposed to be living as children of God. And that one thing is generosity. We as children can be restored to God in our walk with God by being generous in our life. And so I want to talk to you briefly today about the power of generosity and the power of purpose. So the power of generosity, the power of purpose. So basically what we want to say is we want to live for God in a genuine way. Live genuine and generous in a godly way. The Bible teaches us in a few verses of scripture, if you look in Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 21, and then you look in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25, and then 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6, or verse 6 through 8 for that matter, we see that we have a calling to live a life of generosity for God's glory. Now, don't get it confused. I'm not asking you to send me money. I'm not asking you to send a certain organization money. That's not really what this is about. What it's about is about living a life of generosity within yourself and in the community that you're living in. So let's just get to it real quick. First of all, I want you to understand and see the influence of this gentleman, as they call MrBeast, Jimmy Donaldson. He's a YouTube phenomenon, and it's pretty incredible to see. He's better known as MrBeast. He's become one of the biggest YouTube people in the entire world, if not the biggest, and probably is the biggest. Not just does he have viral challenges and all those different things, it's because of his generosity. That's one of the reasons he's become such a phenomenon and such a large, has such a large presence on YouTube. And this thing is, again, not to give glory to him, but to use his example on how we can be the type of person he is in the kingdom work of God. He's given away millions of dollars, cars, houses, even paid for life-changing surgeries for certain people. His actions demonstrate a core of biblical beliefs, whether you want to believe that or not. It's more blessed, according to Acts chapter 20, verse 35. It's more blessed to give than receive. Now, how many of us live that type of life? A life that we're willing to be a giver rather than a taker. And let's just be honest. Most of us love to get things from other people, but our God has called us to be generous and to give to others. So today we're going to look at how MrBeast, Jimmy Donaldson, uses the example of generosity and how that aligns with God's call for our lives to live a life of radical giving and purpose in our walk with God. Next, I want you to notice the power of generosity. Sorry about that. I want you to notice the power of generosity. A giving heart reflects God's heart. Now, I know that because the Bible teaches us in the book of John, St. John, chapter 3, verse 16, it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." So the thing that I see there is that God gave his Son. God's the ultimate giver. He gave his Son for our salvation. Now, how beautiful is that? That's pretty impressive to me. None of us would be willing to give our children for people that we don't know, or people that are going to turn their backs on us, or say terrible things about us, or hurt us. None of us are going to give our kid to be a sacrifice for someone that is horrible or mean. But that's exactly what God did. God did it because he loves us. So he gives us a free gift. When we give freely, When we give freely, not expecting anything, we just give to God and say, God, I'm going to give this to you just because. That really reflects the heart of God. It reflects the character of God. One time, this guy by the name of MrBeast did a $10,000 tip. He gave a $10,000 tip to a waitress. Now imagine the impact of unexpected blessing that was in this person's life. By one single act of kindness, it probably changed her life. I think that's pretty incredible. In the same way, our generosity, whether it's financial, through an act of kindness, or just listening to somebody that normally most people don't listen to, that is an act of kindness, and it can change somebody's life. And you don't have to give $10,000 away. You don't have to give a house away, or you don't have to give a car away. You literally just have to give yourself away, some time to look in the eyes of somebody and say, hey, you know what? Let me take some time and listen to this person, because they may need somebody to listen to them. They may have people in their life that do not listen to them, that don't care about them, but God calls us to a higher standard, and be that type of person, because the gifts of God and giving to other people leads to blessing. That's true. The Bible teaches us that in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Now, how cool is that? Listen to this again. Let me read it. Proverbs 11:25. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. That is beautiful. So when we bless other people, we often receive joy in our own life. We receive favor, even unexpected provisions when we start to bless other people's lives. When we give, when we invest in other people and we give generously to them, God blesses us. Think about the boy in the book of John, in the Bible, the book of John, chapter 6, verses 9 through 13, about the boy that gave his lunch. I mean, this kid had a lunch box, if you will. Maybe it was one of those lunch boxes like I used to have, one of the Dukes of Hazzard lunch boxes, or the Incredible Hulk lunch box is one of the ones that I have. This kid gave his 5 loaves and 2 fish. Jesus multiplied the fish and fed over 5,000 people with it. So when we give what we have, we give what we have, no matter how small, no matter how little we think it is, God multiplies that gift. Think about it this way. Somebody needs somebody to listen to them. And God gives you the ability, the opportunity, the time to be able to be in that person's presence, to be able to just listen to them and treat that person like a human being. That can radically change that person's life. They can walk away from a conversation where you didn't give them any money, you didn't buy them anything, you didn't give them anything, you just gave them your time. They can walk away from that feeling like they are valued. My son, our oldest son, dealt with something, and he's in law enforcement, and he dealt with something just a few days ago of a person that took their own life. And he said, Dad, it wasn't the gore and the stuff that I saw. It was more so the parent and the family members of this tragic situation and the grief that they felt. His job was to just give some time to be there and to help them and to encourage them and steer them in the right direction. And I'm telling you, years down the road, they'll think about that. And I promise you, there'll be a seed that was planted in their life will come to fruition. It will come to develop because someone took the time to let them know their son did matter and they matter. And folks, that's exactly what we're supposed to do when it comes to giving. Give without expecting. Give and invest in other people's lives without expecting anything else. There's a plan within the Bible. It's called stewardship and purpose. And that is something that we're called to do. Money, let's just be honest, money's a tool. It's a tool. It's not the goal. Money's a tool. It's not the goal. We are to give of our time. We're to give of our abilities. We're to give of our resources. We're to give of our finances. And it's not the end result. We don't give to get when in the Christian world. We can work and invest and do all those things and expect to get money back. But in the Christian world, this is not, I'm giving financial stuff to get financial blessings. I'm giving to be a blessing and I'm letting it go. I'm literally giving what God has given to me and I don't want anything in return. And that's where God can do incredible things. In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 19 through 21. But let me just read you this one statement. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth. That shows you right there, Christian. That shows you right there, person. Whoever's watching, whoever's listening, that shows you right there. That's not why we give. We don't give financial blessings to get treasures on earth. We give to impact people's lives forever. Whether it's here and then hopefully and prayerfully it's eternally. You know that man, MrBeast, he reinvests much of his earnings into creating more giving opportunities. He finds a way to do it. And honestly, that mirrors biblical stewardship, using our resources to do more, investing our resources to cause eternal impacts. John Wesley, he's a great revivalist. John Wesley, he had a rule of money. And if you read any of his stuff, you'll understand this. John Wesley, he's the founder of Methodism, the Methodist Church. He lived by many principles, but this one specifically. He said, make this statement. Listen to this statement. Make all you can, save all you can, give all you can. That's incredible. Listen to that. Make all you can, save all you can, give all you can. Now think about what this has an implication of. He used his income to support the poor rather than accumulate wealth. Now, stop there. There's nothing wrong with wealth. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wealth at all. It's okay to have things. It's okay to have beautiful things. I have a collected jersey and an autograph. You can't see it there, but there's an autograph by Mickey Mantle. My dad bought that at an auction and gave that to me. I would never think of getting rid of that. Why? It cost a lot of money, yes, but it's something that my dad spent and invested. And you know why he did it? To give it to his son. And I think that's incredible. That's okay. It's okay to have things. It's okay to have wealth, but we don't do it to get wealth. We do it as Christians to invest in the lives of other people. Yes, we want to take care of our family. Yes, we want to pay our bills. Yes, we want to live comfortably. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about giving generously to impact the lives of other people. Whether it's finances, time, abilities, anything, give for impact. We are called by God to be purposed. We're to give because we don't want to give because we want to be popular. We want to give because this is what God has called us to do. In the book of 2 Corinthians, in the Bible, 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 6 through 8, there's a statement within there that says this: whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. We give because we want to reap the blessings of God generously and bountifully. Now, think about it this way. Don't give to others. Don't give to ministries. Don't give and invest in other people's lives to get something back. Do it to give something and then just let it go. I've always been taught that if you'll just give of your time, of your mind, of your heart, of your joy, of your encouragement, of your compassion, if you just give it and don't look for anything back, God blesses you incredible when you just give and you don't look for anything back. Success without purpose, I believe without question, success without purpose is empty. So my purpose, and I believe our purpose as children of God, is to be generous and to give, to bless others, to encourage others, to honor God. That's our purpose. And if we do that, my goodness, the impact is absolutely incredible. You know that God causes us to use our influence and talents and resources for his kingdom. So the things that we do, we're doing it to honor him. We're doing it not because I'm an awesome person or because we're great people. We're doing it because we serve a great God and we want to honor him the best way that we can. And so the Bible in Mark chapter 10 talks about a man, we call him the rich young ruler. He had everything. He had everything that he could possibly want, but he lacked true fulfillment because there was one reason, because he wasn't willing to surrender to God. He wasn't willing to surrender. Listen, it doesn't matter what we give away. If we're doing it not to honor God, it's going to go away. It's going to go away. It's going to burn up. But if we do it to honor God, and there's a kingdom perspective there, man, God can do something incredible with that. Now, unlike MrBeast, this guy gives freely. This young man, this guy, MrBeast just gives it away, right? So, I mean, we could take from that. And this rich young ruler in Mark chapter 10, he wasn't like that. This guy held tightly to his wealth. And what did he do? He missed out on eternal rewards. He missed out on things and blessings that God had for him because he was not willing to part with what he had worked for, maybe that he inherited. He wanted to hold on to every bit of it. Now, we should not be like that. We should not give with clenched fist. We should give with open hands and open hearts and saying, you know what, God, whatever you want me to do, whatever you want me to give, I'll give it, and I'll give it to your glory, and I'll honor you the best way that I can. Now, stop again. I'm not talking about finances only. I'm talking about of every part of who we are. Give. Invest in the lives of people. You got a book? I've got a lot of books. Those books go around this room in here. I've got a lot of books. When I hear and talking with somebody, they say, hey, I'm dealing with this, I'm struggling with this, I'm looking for some help on this. If I have a book on that, and I have hundreds of more books at my home, I'll go get a book and give it to them. I don't get books. My job is to get books, to read them, and then give them away. And so that's a way that I give. You say, well, that's crazy. No, it's just what I do. I love it. And I have had countless people that have come back to me and said, hey, PJ, I thank you for that book that you've given me. And some just take it and don't ever read it. We understand that. But that is how I do it. I mean, I don't have a lot of money to give. I do give money, but I don't have a lot to give, but I give of resources. Think about the things. When you hear somebody say, you know, I've been struggling with this, I need a step ladder to get up to this thing to clean or to do. Hey, how about this? If you got a step ladder, go give it to them. You don't want to give it to them, let them borrow it. Say, hey, I'll come back and get it later. I mean, just those types of things. Now, I know that's silly, but that is how and what God has called us to do. There are practical ways to live generously. One thing that we can do is give beyond money. I told you that, I've alluded to that the whole time, the last 17 minutes, is give your time, serve in ministry, help a neighbor, help somebody at work, give your words, speak life. Speak encouragement and speak hope to other people's lives. Instead of discouraging people all the time, encourage people. And then give of your resources. Support those people that are in need. There are a lot of people that are in need in life, so support them. So there are practical ways to give. You know, we're to trust God in our giving. You know, a lot of people say, well, I can't afford to give. That's a lie. That is a lie the devil has told you, and then you've bought into it. In Mark chapter 12, the widow's offering, she didn't have anything to give, but she gave everything that she had. Again, let me say that. She didn't have anything to give, but she gave everything that she had. She gave 2 small coins. And Jesus saw that she gave more than anybody that was wealthy in that place that day because she gave all that she had. Generosity is about the heart. It's not about the amount. Let me say that again. Generosity is not about is about the heart. Generosity is about the heart, but it's absolutely not about the amount. So in our lives, we need to create a generosity mindset. What I want to do for you this week, or encourage you to do, is challenge you this week to look for one way, just one way to bless someone unexpectedly. Look for a way. I don't know what that way would be, but look for a way to bless somebody unexpectedly, whether it's buying them a meal. We have a lot of people that do that. I got the hiccups. That's weird. Encouraging a coworker that nobody else seems to like. We have a lot of those around. Maybe I do too. I don't know. I don't have anybody. Or donating to a church or to a ministry. If you're a member of a church, donate. Go say, you know what? I've got this extra money over here. Let me give it to my church because I know. And by the way, if you go to a church, you go there for a reason. Invest your money there. Let me just say that again. You go to a church, you go there for a reason. Invest your money there. Ours, we have an incredible church and we have incredible opportunities to give. So give your money here. If you go to your church, whatever church it is, and you got an extra seed offering, just go, you know what? I'm going to give it there. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, I'm giving this for purpose, with purpose. I'm giving it without strings, without stipulations. I just want you to invest this in whatever ministry it is, and I want to be a blessing. Or someone else, maybe somebody needs rent paid, somebody needs a mortgage paid. Don't take away your tithe, but give generously from what God has done in your life. I promise you, when you do those things, where it's buying a meal, encouraging a coworker, cutting somebody's grass, raking somebody's leaves, helping somebody fix their car or paint their house, small acts of generosity create huge impacts in other people's lives. So finally, live a life for a legacy. Live a life for a legacy. Live a life of generosity for a legacy. It's really a ripple effect of kindness. When people see what you do and see how you live, and they're a part of that, they're products of your generosity, they're going to do the very same thing. They're going to bless and encourage and minister to other people. Even when you're dead and gone on to heaven, they're going to do the very same thing, because they're going to model you. And I know that's true in my life. There are many people that I model. Bill Wissonet, I think about one of them. He took the time to always talk to me. No question was silly enough. No statement was going to take away from his time. He took the time to invest in me. And that's why I feel like I take the time to invest in others if they're willing. By the way, let me say this. You can't make somebody take the time that you want to invest in if they're not willing. They've got to be willing. So don't be disheartened when somebody doesn't really care. They want to just complain all the time, and they don't want to take the time to fix what's going on in their life. You can give to people, but sometimes sowing seed goes on rocky ground. You got to make sure that what you're doing is somebody's willing. Now, sometimes you just got to give and let go and move on. But don't be discouraged when somebody doesn't receive your generosity. Just move on to the next person. God will see it. God will honor it. And that's all that matters. My question to you, I got two. Will you choose to live a life of generosity? I hope so. I hope you're like MrBeast. I hope you're like this Jimmy guy that gets out there and says, you know what, I'm going to give and I'm going to bless and I'm going to encourage other people no matter what, because that's what God would have me to do. That's a principle of God. And then secondly, what is one thing in your life? What is one thing in your life that you can do this week to reflect God's heart of giving? I guarantee you we all know somebody. We all know of an organization or somebody that needs us to give, maybe our volunteering time. Whatever it is, we know somebody in that way. So what do we do to get those things accomplished? Well, we've got to ask God. We've got to ask God to help us. Help me become a cheerful giver, a generosity guy that's full of cheer. And then help me surrender my resources, my talents, and my time for His glory. I have a garage full of stuff. We have upstairs, an attic in our garage that's just full of stuff. My wife organizes it to no end. She knows where the Christmas things are, the memorabilia things are. She knows where the kids' memories things are and other things. There are things up there that probably we could give away. And so look at those things. Go to your home today and look around and say, there's things that I would never use and I'm never going to use again. What can I give away? And then be thinking. When you're in a conversation with somebody, in your generosity of giving time and giving a listening ear to someone, listen to their needs. And it just may be that you have an extra lawnmower. It may just be that you have an extra weed eater. It may just be that you have an extra table or chairs or something like that you could give to someone that is in need. Be a generous person. Closing verse, here it is. Luke chapter 6, verse 38. Listen to what it says. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. Listen to this. This is my final thought. Thank you for listening for these last 24 minutes, 25 minutes. Final thought. True wealth is not what you keep, but it's what you give away. May God bless you, and I am so thankful for you. Thank you, guys. I love you. Hope to see you here really, really soon.